Back to another Real Estate Notes show. I'm your host, Dave Putz. And this week, we're going to dive into the exciting experience we had down at the Note Expo down in Nashville. Before we do that, alongside me, as always, my partner, Nathan Turner. How are
Hello,
you?
hello. Very good, very good.
Awesome. What was your experience coming back?
It was great actually. So we stayed an extra couple of days, ended up going into Memphis, 3 hours away, just to check out Memphis and see what's going on over there. And
There we
that's a really
go.
cool city as well. That was a lot of fun. My
Yeah.
daughter's really into music. She came with us, and so we headed over there. We did some cool stuff. Went and saw Aretha Franklin's birthplace and saw Rock
Awesome.
and Soul Hall of Fame and a few different things. It was really good.
Oh, good family time, good
Yeah.
journey. I'm sure your flight was a lot better than some of the other guests that were there. Oh,
I think we came just before and just after all the storms. And so
oh my God.
we got to avoid a lot of that. But man, yeah, I heard some horror stories. There were people delayed, all kinds of craziness. So
Yeah.
glad everybody got there that did.
Yep.
I know there was a few that couldn't make it, which is really unfortunate, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, but everyone did who was supposed to come joined and we were there and active with us, which is always awesome, right? And seeing people that we hopefully don't see often, which granted, we all live in different parts of the country and Canada, of
Yeah.
course. But I
Yeah.
think for me, just getting together with other people, is exciting, motivational, brings you energy, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was so good to get to just hang out and chat with everybody. I met some new people that are selling notes, people that are creating notes. And so like that's always exciting. That's always fun.
Yeah. So I know when we first got there, you meeting people you may have saw from a little image on social media or whatnot. Um, and we had over 200 attendees, or you
Yeah.
had over 200 attendees,
Yeah.
which is surpassed last year,
Yes.
which is amazing to get them people in one room.
Yeah. It was about 20% more than last year as far as attendees, which was fantastic. So
Yeah.
just great to have everybody in the room. And again, it's so much about it is just about networking. So it's always good to have, a couple more people just to go and talk to and hang out with.
Yeah. So from when you got there, this is the second time you've done it, right?
Yeah.
So that whole process is freaking cool, right? And I think
Yeah.
that people were ecstatic about the opportunity and hopeful that what they're going to take away from the weekend. How many people there had never been to a conference before?
We asked that at the beginning, and I want to say like probably at least a quarter of the people there, quarter maybe a third
Yeah.
of the people there had never been to a note conference. We had same thing, about a quarter, third that were brand new to notes, which is fantastic. So we were able to have them drink from the fire hose and just get right into it, which was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah. I was amazed how many people I looked over and I was like, I don't know you. I don't recognize you. And they're like, hey,
Yeah,
listen, I heard about this from XYZ. And it's like, oh my goodness. Right.
yeah,
Um, I tried getting someone off the plane to come join us. And I think that they're going to come next year. Right.
cool.
Um, and everyone I spoke to was enthralled about how friendly people were and how relaxing people were.
Yeah.
Um, which maybe other conferences aren't like that, or they just have expectations that were really high.
I have been to some of those where actually Adam Adams and we went to one together. It's an IMN conference in Miami. I think it was the distressed bank
Okay.
notes. And this was a couple of years ago. And man, stiff. Just like
Yeah.
nobody was willing to hang out and chat. It was, we see this all the time. And as much as, you should be in the session to hear what's going on, there's people out in the hall talking and chatting,
Yep.
and at this banking one, not a soul. Like nobody. Everybody
Wow.
was in the room. So it's just a very
Wow.
different vibe. Very different vibe.
Yes.
So
That was
interesting.
another counter from some of the people who'd never been to it before. They're like, I can't believe how relaxing compared to IMN and MBAs.
Yeah.
They actually like, I feel at home here, and
Yeah.
they felt relaxed. Like having the opportunity to just socialize, ice cream parlor, and it wasn't
Yeah.
all suits and ties, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't stuffy like that, um, which was really awesome. So the first day of the axe throwing, right? We
Yeah.
got there. We had some small get-togethers that Thursday, but then the actual ring happened, and I was amazed. It was a lot bigger than last year. The energy was there. The
Yeah.
excitement was in the room, and you had a ton of people competing. I
Yeah.
think it was a little rigged though. So who won this thing? Who was the first and second place here?
I was a little bit suspicious when Revolve Capital is the one who sponsors it, and yet they're the team that won at the end. Come
Yeah.
on. So Jordan Wild ended up being our champion, who's actually not affiliated with Revolve, but he was on their team. So it was like, I don't know about this, but
I,
we'll see. I honestly, one of the things that I thought was not my favorite was the team structure. I was looking forward to having more one-on-one,
individual. Yep.
kind of that round robin.
Yep.
So now that we know how that venue works, we'll make sure we arrange that for next year so we get more chances to play.
Yeah. Interesting you say that because I think people didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I give credit to those who were not interested at all and kind of nervous, don't want to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
And those who didn't, I get it, right? Some of us aren't, that's not our thing. But
Yeah.
you showed up to network, which
Yeah, exactly.
was the idea happening there. Right?
Yeah, there was oh shoot, I forget her name. There was a girl on my team. We put together a team quickly because we needed to, and a girl who's first timer, never been to know. She's brand new to everything. So she was at the axe throwing, and she was nervous and just didn't know who to talk to, and felt really out of place. And so Saturday afternoon, I saw her again, and just the change was remarkable. And she's so comfortable and just like chatting with people and smiling and everything. And that's what we do. That's what the note community is like. Is we're very inclusive. Anybody can come and join. And so I was glad to see that kind of transformation. That was pretty cool.
Absolutely. And Kim, I see on Facebook asked about that she missed this year. Love to attend next year. So next year, do we have a tentative date of
So
what
the
next year
toss up
should be?
right now, and if people want to comment in the comments there, we're looking at changing it from the first weekend in June to making it the first weekend in May.
Yes.
So throw it in the comments there. If you have a preference, a strong preference, let us know. That would be really helpful. We're leaning towards the first weekend in May, but we just got to make some arrangements for that. But that's kind of what we're looking at. Just because it's less interfering with school schedules and things like that.
Yeah. And it's going to be the same location we're planning, right? Nashville's going to be the location again.
Nashville.
If you haven't been,
it
is a city to visit. Oh my gosh.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
A lot of opportunities. You can do what you want, how you want it, and whatnot. So again, we want to encourage, we had more note creators and originators joining us, which what we want to have. We want the note buyers and the note creators in the same room because we're buying and selling to each other. So we encourage you to reach out. So once the tickets are for sale, we'll put it on on our show here. But you can go to the website as well. Once they're live, Nathan just have to fine tune some data points, and then we'll put the schedule out there. Make sure you get the early bird schedule, a pricing, and get
we'll have all that live here within I don't know, soon.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll let everyone know. But definitely when we get those plans solidified, we'll definitely let everybody know, and then at the very least, just put it on your calendar. Make sure you set it aside.
So what we talked about at the expo was, networking, getting deals done, right? And putting yourself out there. I was encouraged to see a few things, and this may sound rude at the beginning, interrupting a conversation to join in. I was ecstatic to see that. People were getting their way in there and saying, "Hey, I'm Bob, I'm Sally," which is, you're there to network, guys. So I encourage you guys to always do that kind of stuff. And it's always helpful. If it's a private conversation, they will take it to a private area. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I was happy to see on day 2. I asked how many people were sitting in a different spot, and most people raised their hands. I'm like, excellent.
Yes. We get comfort. We're a creature of comfort, right?
Yeah, no, move around, meet people. That's the whole point.
And it's funny because we go to these things and we see the same people a lot. And believe me, we're going to catch up with someone However, when you're there in network, dude, you're dialing in and you're not talking to each other, right? To people I know best, I didn't talk to them at the conference that much. It was a quick check-in. Hey, how are you? Hope the family's well, move on, because we're there to meet other people. And so I'm going to give one thing. I'm still surprised on the number of people I've given business cards out and never got an email.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're taking business cards and you're writing things down, send your emails out and follow up, right? My stuff was out Sunday evening, early Monday.
Yeah.
It was out. The emails went out and all that stuff. You got to connect with people after the conference.
Yeah,
If you
definitely.
wait 2 weeks, they're probably going to forget what you guys talked about. And,
Yeah.
we write in the back of the card. So I get the app's good. The writing in the back of the business card is what me and Nathan do, and it works so much better.
Yeah, it really does. And
Yeah.
so and follow up, follow up, follow up. Like
Yeah,
that's the whole name of the game. When you meet
absolutely.
somebody and you're chatting and then you meet 20 other people, you're gonna forget. So you got to follow up and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So day one was in the books. Action was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Networking was great. We had a small get together, which is awesome. Day two was ready to rumble, right? We got up early. We're there checking in. What was your first
Everybody
take?
got up early, right? Everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we're all there, right? And,
I was
and
actually surprised at how many people were there
this is
that early.
true.
That was
We
good.
Saturday morning might have been a little more difficult for a lot of people, right?
No, but it was
Um,
good. And we're right in talking about seller financing.
yeah, right away, right? So
Yeah.
so Friday morning, kickoff morning, you're there and you're presenting, right? You talked about setting your goals for the weekend,
Hmm.
making sure you made that point to come here, make it worth your while, and spend the most time you can with everybody.
Yeah.
So moving to the next speakers, what was some takeaways from that day two, the first day of everyone speaking? What were some of the key things you took away that really kind of hit home for you, or some action steps you got to do, either from presenters or from people you spoke to?
Man, oh man. Again, you go to an event like this and you don't know who's in the room. Like there's people there with money, there's people there with deals, a lot and
Yeah.
big numbers. So all the
Yes.
way down to somebody who's barely getting started, doesn't have a dime,
Yeah.
uh, and up. So there's people in the room and worth talking to. Man, some of the takeaways, gosh, are so
So,
much.
so for me, what I was taking away were some notes just from talking to other people, either A, how they're creating notes right now,
Mm-hmm.
B, what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Some of the other things were they were doing mailers and succeeding, right? Which was really awesome to see. I did take some takeaways on day three, but we'll get there in a minute. But day two, I really was learning from the people in the room, really
Yeah.
kind of learning what they're doing, how they're doing it, and helping them, and they're helping me. One guy was talking about the fact that he's dialing for dollars with banks, and my experience was that doesn't succeed, but they said they are actually able to contact a few people, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
I was also talking to people who are seasoned investors like ourselves, and they're starting to see what I was seeing as some cracks. We're starting to get some notes that have been performing for years
Hmm.
starting to fault,
Yeah.
and getting a sense of the current status of the market and seeing that. Um, I love seeing people wanting to buy non-performers. I was really ecstatic with that opportunity,
Yeah.
because I think that's the next trend going to come back. And
And yeah, and it's it's one of those things, it's a lot of fun. It does take more work and more, knowledge of how to deal with those. And so I'm same thing. I'm really glad that people are getting into it with that mindset, recognizing that it's a little bit of a longer road. Like there's
yes,
there's more they need to learn. And so
yep,
they're there, they're learning, and they're
yes,
they're getting it, which is fantastic. Because yeah, we're seeing it coming back. How much, when, we don't know, but
yeah.
it's coming.
We yeah, I think that I wasn't able to be part of the MBA speech, which I'll probably over the video. So guys, the
Yeah.
link inside the video, if you can't get to, you can go to the Diversified Mortgage Expo, and there's a recording of it, but I put it inside the chat link here. So I would encourage you guys, for the money, you're going to get all the information, all the recordings, this breakout rooms. So anytime you miss something, or whatever, or you heard something you want to rehear, like the attorney speech on third day three, you want to
Yeah.
rehear it, go over to the videos and watch at your leisure.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I missed the MBA. What were some of the takeaways that the Mortgage Banking Association saw in the
Yeah.
upcoming